My name is Jesus de la Quintana. I am actually working at Tecnalia, and more specifically, in the field of, say, smart cities, mobility, but also in the aspects related to governance, regulations, and policies. Normally, it's very difficult to tell a researcher better than what they know about the work they are doing or the research they are doing. So that's the help we are bringing them. So identify that the work they are doing has a second, third, or fourth way of being exploited out from the specific project in which they are actually working. The first image that we have from the project is that it's very powerful in the aspects of technology. It's very well focused in helping industry in order to improve, in order to get more quality, better results, reduce unneeded costs. It's very good to see the connection with what the industry is needing. The characterization of the machine through the variables and the possibility of using sensors to acquire the data and then analyzing the data and a sort of a cycle using also machine learning gives you a vast opportunity for being able to access all the aspects that are taken into account in actual production. And hopefully when the people are doing actual production leave the factory for whatever reason, including retiring or including going to do any other kind of work in other places, that knowledge will remain. It will be something incredibly positive for the factory or for the people that are working with that product. We have this experience in Tecnalia because we are a research center, but we have to also position the idea that we are applied research. So Tecnalia is applied research, but we have to be very careful, and the contact with the customer, the continuous contact with the customer is fundamental. Because probably I mentioned before the idea of if you start deviating from your target, even if it's a small angle, when the time passes, the distance increases a lot. One of the things that we are also, say, discovering every day in this work we are doing in Reclaim, but also, say, within Tecnalia, we find as we are, say, in the edge of technology, so we are, say, somehow being the pioneers on the application or the applicability of the technology. One of the things that we see is that the market could be a little bit behind of what the technology could offer. So this mismatch or this gap between one and the other makes that sometimes the customer is not the best prepared to identify the possibilities that the technology is providing them. I think it's one of the possible ways of solving some of the problems that industry is facing. Everything seems to be very unstable. Things change very rapidly. And obviously the cost associated to buying heavy equipment could be very dangerous for a company. And if that's the case, they might consider not to risk in a new business, whatever the kind of business it is. that one of the most important things of engineers is to be able to tell the story. Otherwise, you invent for yourself